All right, everyone. Welcome back. Doesn't look like we have anybody new, so we'll just get started. So this portion, oh, looks like we got one more. All right. So this portion of the virtual tour is for navigating Canvas as a student, right? So right now, once you log into Canvas as a student, this is what it'll look like, right? So you have on the left-hand side, a big blue bar. This is actually your global navigational menu, right? And if you scroll down, right? If you scroll down, you'll get your courses right down here. But right before that, right on top, this is what we call e-news, so or announcements, and this is where you'll get really important information, right? So you can get information from when scholarships are available, when deadlines are coming up, financial aid, if there's something about a group that you're a part of, those kind of announcements will show up right at the top, right? All right. So now that we're on the dashboard level, I'll show you what you can do with this. So right now, if you are on your dashboard level, what you would do is you can see that you have just one course, right? So right here, you would actually see all of the courses that you are taking at the moment, right? So if it's spring quarter and you have 3 courses, those 3 courses would show up here. Now you can change it from card view or you can change it to list view. Now this course doesn't have any assignments that are due, but what you would see here is actually a list of all of your assignments from every course, not just one, but all of them. So obviously the one that is due the soonest is going to be at the top, and then the ones that are a little bit further out will be all the way at the bottom. But the great thing about this is that you do get to see all of your courses and all of your assignments that are due for all of those courses in one place, right? All right, so move on. So the second thing on here is courses. And I know that sounds a little weird because, oh, you say, well, all my courses are supposed to be right here. Well, yes, but you can also reach your courses in at a different level. So at the top, right in between these 2 lines, you would have anything that is on your dashboard, right? If you click on this, all courses, if you've been a student for longer than 1 quarter at Seattle Central, this will show all of your classes that you've ever taken, right? Now, some of the courses may still be available for you to click into and actually navigate through, but some of them may be turned off after your class is over, after that quarter is over. So, but with that being said, this is where you would find all of those courses, right? All right. Really cool tool that I love about Canvas is I'm a very visual person. So when I am actually watching or I'm watching for when my assignments are due, I actually prefer to go to the calendar, right? So in the calendar, you'll see that today's date is actually grayed out, right? So if you go to the right, if you go to the far right, you'll see where it says calendars, and then you'll see test students 15, and then you'll see introduction to Canvas. So what's really cool about this is that if I were to select this, I would see, and like I said before, none of these courses have any assignments due, but if they did, once you select these, they would show up as what's due and when, right? So you can select to show just one course by unselecting the ones you don't want to see, or see them all. And like I said, if you have more than 1 course, you'll have all of your courses right here, right? And another really cool thing is that if you wanted to see it a different layout, you can go to a weekly layout or an agenda layout, or I would prefer month just because I can see what day it is today and then also see how close I'm coming up to that due date. And another really cool thing is that you're actually able to create new events in this calendar. So if you have something due, maybe that's not due, or you have a project that you're working with another student or a peer or anything like that, you guys can make different and edit new events onto your calendar to take note of those things as well. And just so you know, I might be rolling through this, but if any of you all have any questions, please make sure to let me know, hitting raise hand or giving me a go slower or anything like that. Just give me some type of nonverbal feedback so that I know that you guys are all okay. All right, so moving on. The next thing is going to be the inbox. Now, the inbox sounds pretty self-explanatory, but this inbox is a little different, right? So this inbox allows you to send messages to anybody in any one of your courses, right? So if you were to choose a course right now, obviously the only course I have available is Introduction to Canvas, but I would have a list of all my courses. Now, if I select Introduction to Canvas, when I selected that, I got this title right up here, right? Since I clicked on that, over here, I will get all of the messages that I have sent or received for from this class, right? Using the inbox. Now, it doesn't mean that it's any other way. So if you've sent a message on some other type of platform or in Canvas, but not using the inbox, you will not see that message here, right? So now let's say that we wanted to write a message. So we would actually compose a new message, click the button that says compose a new message, right? And now on top, it says it automatically has Introduction to Canvas because I already selected it over here. But you are able to change that. So you can select a course just like we did on the top left, right? You select the course. And now the thing that that's a little weird about this is that you do have to go through the entire list of everybody in your course. So yes, it's good if you know exactly who you're trying to communicate to, but sometimes it can be a little daunting because it's literally a list of everyone in your course. So sometimes you may be afraid to send someone the wrong thing or anything like that, but usually students use this in order to communicate with their instructors, right? So this is, yes, a good a way to do that, but I'm about to show you a better way. So, and just to finish this up, if you can select anybody in your course, right? Or you can select to send it to everybody in your course by just clicking the course, and then it'll send a message to anybody that's in that course specifically. And type in the subject, and then you can go ahead and type in the message in here and click send when you're ready, right? All right, so I said earlier that usually if you're inboxing or if you're sending a message to somebody in your course, you're trying to communicate with your instructor. So that is one way to do that, but I'm going to show you the best way to do it. So if you click on the help button in your global navigation bar, click that and you'll see a link that says ask your instructor a question, right? So if you click this, you'll actually get to directly send your instructor a message. Now, if you click down here, you'll get the option to choose which course. Obviously, I only have one, but you would get, if you're enrolled in 3 or 4 different courses, you can choose whichever course. And no matter what course you choose, it'll only always send directly to the instructor. So you can type in your message here and send, and you'd be ready to go. Right? So I think that's a really cool tool because I know that it saves a lot of time and it gets to your instructor directly. You don't have to go through the inbox and try and look for your course and try and look for the person inside. Sometimes you don't even know what your teacher's last name is. And I mean, that's easy to look up, but I understand sometimes it just feels like a lot of hoops to jump through. So that is one way to be able to directly message your instructor. All right, and then let's stay in the help button. So if you wanted to get to Starfish, now I don't teach anything about Starfish or have any information on Starfish, but if you know what that is and you need a direct link to it, you can go ahead and click Starfish here and it'll take you directly there. The next thing we have is report a problem. So if Canvas has any problems or has any issues as far as maybe glitching or isn't doing something that you need it to do, and you can't get in contact with your instructor or they don't know how to fix it, and you need a little bit more extra help, just go ahead and report the problem so that our side, and we can do that on our end and hopefully fix that for you pretty quickly. All right, the next thing is e-tutoring. So this is really great too, because if you have a course that you're having trouble with or you need tutoring, you have the direct link here. So if we click e-tutoring, it'll take you directly to their website. It'll help you use your username and your login, and it gives you all of the answers and any resources that you need in order to start tutoring. So this is great. It's right there, right in Canvas, all in one shot. All right, and then the next thing is Introduction to Canvas for Students. So I'm giving you all a rundown right now. This is just a quick rundown. It's nothing heavy, nothing detail oriented. I just want you all to kind of get a feel for it, right? But if you're taking this, you probably want to take Introduction to Canvas for Students. If you haven't taken any courses here at Seattle yet and you are wondering how Canvas works, this is the best resource for that. Not only are you able to get in and test drive, but you're able to get a feel for exactly what you'll be asked for or asked of as a student. So this is a really great resource. Whenever you get a chance, whenever you get set up with Canvas, just go ahead and hit the help button, Introduction to Canvas for Students, and you're set, right? Right, and then the last thing on here that we have is the COVID-19 Canvas resources. So if you are wondering what's going on, what's changing based off of COVID and things like that, this is the best resource for that. This will take you directly to anything that's changed and to help you as a student as to what those changes might be doing and how they might be affecting you as a student and your learning outcome. So yeah, so we have all of these resources on the help button. It's really great. It's definitely expanded, and it's been really, really useful for brand new students and for just students at all. All right, and we did gloss over the search bar a little bit. It isn't the best yet. It still has a few flaws. So I wouldn't recommend necessarily using the atomic search, but if you need to look for something, I would just try maybe looking for it manually and going through your different courses or asking your instructor directly, and maybe they'll have a better answer for you. All right, so we went through all the big buttons. And actually, I don't think we went through this one, the account button. So with this one, obviously, once you click on it, you'll see this is my would-be name. So this is where my name would be. And then up here, as a student, I would want to add a picture of myself so that my instructor gets knows what I look like, one. But two, I feel like because we're right now in this day and age where we have to be virtual, as distant as we are, I think it is more of a personal touch, and it allows instructors and students to feel closer when they actually know and know what these people look like, what we look like, and who we're speaking to. So, so if you would like to do that, you're able to go to your profile, right? And you are able to edit profile and change your picture. And if you want to change your contact information and anything like this, you can actually go ahead and do that. All right. So once you click on the course, you'll basically get this layout, right? Where you have a menu on the left. And I want you all to notice that you have the menu on the left right beside the big menu. Now, this menu inside, once you click on your course, is specifically for that course. It's not going to take you outside of that course. Everything that you do in here is for this course. Now, if you were to click outside and go to this global navigation bar, it'll actually take you to a different place and kick you out of this course, right? So if you want to find things inside your course, definitely try and stay inside of the menu within that bar. All right, so here's the home page. This is generally what it might look like. Now, every instructor is different. This is not what it's going to look like for every single one of your classes. They change this, they create their own. So I just want you all to know that this is this, don't expect this exact thing once you sign into any of your courses, all right? But this is generally where they write and where they have your course expectations, what a welcome video, and what is going to be basically the entirety of your course, right? So they'll probably have a syllabus and stuff like that, checklists, and things needed in order for you to succeed in your course. Right, so then the next thing is, next thing we have on here, and that you might not see in other courses, is announcements. So the same way that your instructors are probably not going to have the same home page, is they're probably not going to have the same menu here. This will differ from instructor to instructor, right? They choose what shows up on this side. But if you do happen to have announcements, the announcements will pop up almost like emails, so you'll only see the title or the subject. Then you click on them to see further details and anything else that they've written in that message. So that can be anything from a due date changing, or maybe they are letting you know what days your Zoom classes are, anything like that, any information like that. All right, so this is the bulk of online courses, right? So in your modules, this is basically where your instructors lay out what your course assignments are, your readings, your resources, anything like that. This is basically where all of that is going to go. Okay, so some instructors do it where it's like every one of these drop downs is a week. So depending on what quarter you are, there might be six of these, there might be 8, there might be, I mean, it really depends. And like I said, all of these things are just general. None of what you're seeing today is going to be exactly what you see when you open up your courses when school starts, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and come down here to Introduction to Canvas. And I just wanna show you some very common things that you'll be seeing whenever you get into a course. The first thing I'm going to try and do with you all is a text entry. So let's say you have an assignment, and your assignment says that you need to write 2 sentences about yourself, right? So that would be a text entry upload. So right here where it says resubmit, it would actually say a submit assignment. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And as you notice on the bottom, a text entry box has popped up. So right in here, we'll do a text entry, right? And we'll go ahead and do a submit assignment. So once we submit this assignment, you'll see right up here that it says submitted and the time and the date. Now, if you go to submission details, you will see what I've typed in, right? So that is probably, it's one of the few common submissions that you'll probably be asked of from your instructors. All right, the next common one is gonna be a file upload. So this would be if you have, let's say an essay, or not an essay, but maybe a paper to write, and you absolutely need to upload all of your documents. So you have a 5-page paper that you need to upload. This is how you would do that. So we would go ahead and hit submit assignment. And then here you have a new box, right? The other one said text upload. This one is actually file upload. So best way to do this is if we'll hit browse. Now I'm gonna go ahead and upload same thing I uploaded earlier. So the student virtual tour. So for Zoom, I've uploaded that file now, right? If I had another file, let's say that not all of my papers were on one file. If I had another file, I could go ahead and do that. Okay, and then I would hit submit assignment. Okay, and the same thing, just like we saw earlier, submitted, the time, submission details, you can go in there and see that, or you can actually download. Let's say that maybe you lost the file, maybe you're on a different computer and you need that. You can actually download your assignment by going back to the actual assignment that was due and clicking on download your file that you have uploaded, right? And I just want to take a second. Is everybody okay? Is everybody doing okay? Does anybody need me to slow down at all? Great. Okay. All right. So next thing is the discussion forum. So this is another really great way for your instructors to work with you and to do basically a collaboration or engaging with the instructor and the students in your class, right? So in this case, it might be where your instructor says, okay, I need you all to respond to this one specific question and tell me how you feel about that, right? So what you would do is you would go ahead and hit reply, and then the text box shows up, right? So we'll go ahead and type in a test reply and type post reply. Now, some instructors will make it to where you cannot see other people's replies until you reply yourself, right? But some instructors might leave that off, and you can see everybody's reply, and then you have to reply yourself as well. So now I've replied. Now I can see everybody, right? Now let's say that I chose to then reply to, let's choose a good one. Let's see. All right. So let's say I want to reply to Shalisha. I could just click the reply button in the text and say hello. Post reply. So now I have not only replied to the discussion itself, but I have also replied to another peer. Now, sometimes your instructors, most of the time, will say, in order to get full credit for this assignment, you have to not only reply, but you have to reply to two other peers, to two or more peers, in order for this assignment to be graded, or for you to get a good grade or a grade period on it, right? So that's how you do that. You select the person that you want to reply to, click reply, and reply, and that's that. It's easy as that, and it's honestly, it's pretty cool because you can keep having a conversation. It doesn't have to stop there. She can then reply to me, and I can keep going, or other people can join into the conversation. So it's really great. It's really engaging, and that's definitely one of the things that your instructors will probably have you do, right? All right, so this is going to be the last thing I show you all, and probably the most important. We're going to go ahead and do a practice quiz. So with this practice quiz, there's, I believe, 6 questions. Let's see. Yes, there are 6 questions, which means that there are 6 different types of questions that you will receive or can receive. And I believe there's 6. There may be more, but I believe there are only 6 that you can receive on a quiz or a test. So we're going to go through those 6 questions, and I want you all to notice on the right, top right over here. Right now we're going to be on question 1, so it's bold, and you have a little question mark right next to that. But I want you to notice after we answer this question what that'll look like. And I also want you guys to notice the time elapsed. So you may or may not be told by your instructor that you have a time limit on your quiz. In that case, you would definitely want to leave your time elapsed so that you can watch and take note of how much time you're spending on each question, or if you have what time you have left in order to complete it. If not, if you don't have a time, or if you're feeling frisky, then you can definitely hit hide, and you won't see that time, right? And sometimes that also has a lot to do with pressure, not feeling that pressure, and just focusing on the quiz itself as opposed to the time. All right, so question 1. Question 1 is a multiple choice question. So with a multiple choice question, you only can choose one of the answers provided, right? So I'm going to select one and click next. Okay, now notice how I said earlier that we were taking a good look over here at the questions. Now that I've selected, or now that I've answered that question, I have a check mark, right? So we're moving on to question 2. All right, question 2 is a multiple answer question. Remember, the first one was a multiple choice question, but this one is a multiple answer question. So now I can choose multiple answers when selecting my answers for that question, right? Right? Question 3. This one is a true or false. Again, this question only allows you to select one answer. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit true. Next. All right. So this one's a little tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. So this is called a matching question. So you have a response here, which is an activity where you respond to a specific response from your instructor and share your response with your peers. Now we just did that, and that was a discussion, right? So in the choices that you have, discussion board is one of them. So I'm going to say it's discussion board because that is what I feel is the right answer. Okay. The next one is an activity where you submit work directly to an instructor, right? That sounds like an assignment. We did a few of those. We did the text upload and we also did the file upload. Okay. So going to do assignment. And then the last one is an activity where you answer specific questions from your instructor, such as multiple choice and essay questions. That sounds a lot like what we're doing right now. So I'm actually going to go ahead and choose quiz. Okay. And next. All right. So the fifth one is a fill in the blank. Now, this is pretty easy, pretty simple, but I do want you to take care and take note of that sometimes there may be more than one blank. Okay, it's a little tiny space in there that sometimes you may not see. So I would definitely just take note of that and sometimes just highlight it, see if that makes it a little easier for you to see. But once you have that and you see that it's two blanks that you need to fill in, I know there's just one box, but you just fill it all in the same box. All right. All right. And then the last one is an essay question. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. You just type in the text box and submit your essay once you're done. I'm actually just going to do a little test essay submission. And then that's it. I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and submit my quiz. And if we look up top where it says last attempt details, it says that my time was about 5 minutes. So it took me about 5 minutes to take that quiz, right? If you see down right below that, it says current score, 0 out of 0. Now, if I didn't know any better, it sounded like I either failed or I didn't do it right. But in fact, some instructors will not add the answers or make it so that once you answer it, it's either yes or no or correct or not correct. Or they may not even have points set out for it yet. So you may take a quiz and then those points or all of that other stuff might be set up by the instructor later because they manually grade these. So I wouldn't worry too much about this until the final grade that shows up on your grade book, right? All right, so another really cool thing is that an instructor might give you a few different options as far as being able to take the quiz for different number of attempts. So for instance, I've taken this quiz 4 times now. So I can see my previous attempts, right? I can see if I've gotten it right, if I got it wrong, etc., right? You can see all of those, or you can just take the quiz again if you have that ability to take the quiz multiple times. If not, then that one score, that one quiz that you took is the final score. Now, if you notice under current score, it says kept score. Now, if you are allowed to do more than one attempt per quiz, then the score that you get the highest, or the quiz that you get the highest score on is the one that you keep. So even if the last quiz you take is the lowest score, if your second quiz was the highest score, that's the quiz that'll stick, and that's the score that'll stick in your final grade. Once you get into Canvas, once you get your student ID number and everything set up, go ahead and go to that help button and remember to select the Introduction to Canvas for Students to kind of go through everything that I went through with you today, but more in depth. And you actually get to drive. So that's pretty cool.